So here we have the Nike Jam Futura Train Electric White, and this is a sneaker that came in women's sizes and released last week, which was on I think the 12th or the 13th, and so it's nice to get these pair quite easily, I suppose, and they released on the Nike app. And so it's one of those trainers that was released this year in 2024 for the Olympics, because breakdancing was part of the Olympics from starting from this year. And it's a Futura collab, so with the famous graffiti artist Futura. And then the artwork on here, which is on the inside of the sock liner and also on the insole, reflects the I think his artwork that's called Atoms and Characters. One of their sort of graffiti designs that he did was on a train that's using this artwork. So for that reason, that was back in sort of 1980, which is really cool. So with the details, it comes in a white, photon dust, platinum tint and black colourway. So as you can sort of see, the colours on here pretty much sort of neutral, and then the inside is where it's loud, and you can kind of see that sort of seeping through on the sock liner and also on the pull tab. And this is made up pretty much of all synthetic materials, really, and I'm not sure about the leather quality, but it feels quite sort of pebbly to the touch, so it might be slightly better quality. And there's some suede around the eyelets, which is good for sort of hard wearing, I suppose, you know, for breakdancing purposes. And it's got a gusseted tongue as well, so it's to kind of keep you locked in place, similar to like an SB really. So which is really nice as well. And some of the new silhouettes that Nike has been doing, they've been kind of creating these drop-in insoles and for their particular sneakers, and this one's no exception. So similar to, I suppose, a Kobe or the Jumpman Jack T-Rex trainers, it's pretty much a cup sole that you see inside here, no tech in there, and then the drop-in insole provides most of the comfort, and in this instance it's you know, just on the sort of more firmer side, I suppose. And it has a light EVA cup sole, so like I mentioned, because it's pretty much no tech in there, it's just buttoned down to the sole itself, the midsole, and the outsole being, you know, sort of knitted in and glued into the upper. So it's pretty much similar to, I suppose, an Air Jordan 1 or a Dunk. And these also have textured hand grips on the midsole, so you can sort of see that here, this area here, and this area here on the lateral and medial sides. And then you also got one on the back as well. And it's mainly like, you know, if you're doing sort of breakdance moves, then you kind of be able to sort of grab the, you know, the bottom of the trainer and just, you know, being able to sort of hold on to it. And it's one of those ones where it sort of flips upside down. So if you're doing some breakdancing tricks, you know, especially like the ones that you see sort of handstand and things like that, the Nike goes on the right side, so which is nice to touch as well. And the price for these is £120, which is the normal price, so there wasn't an extra to pay for this Future product. So with the comfort and sizing, this is on the medium to firm side, and the reason I say that is, like I mentioned earlier, because this is just using pretty much a rubber cup sole, it's got most of the comfort coming from the insole. And as you can sort of see, the insole is pretty much you know, sort of got grooves in here for flexibility that you can sort of see, and it kind of bends quite easily, but I wouldn't say it's sort of soft or squishy. It's more sort of on the neutral side going towards firm, but not like it's uncomfortable, but don't expect it to be soft and squishy. Like I had a pair of Kobe 8s recently with React X in there, and that was a lot more softer than these, even though that was on the firm side. And the insole provides pretty much the arch support, but you can sort of see here it's contoured in terms of your shape for your arch. And usually with these types of things, footwear, you know, they kind of have a bit of a drop down contour going on, because it's mainly obviously for dancing and things like that, so you end up being on your toes forefoot quite a bit. And I would say no wearing time for these really. I think my only issue is, even though, like for me, I've just got a little bit of like pinky toe pressure here, but maybe that will go in time. I did like loosen up the laces, but just be wary of that if you have like a wide foot like I do. And on that basis, you know, because I have a wide foot, I did actually go up half a size in these, and I'm still experiencing pinky toe issues, and it kind of feels similar to, I suppose, a Jordan 4 in that respect. And bear in mind that these are women's sizes shoes, so I'm not sure why they release them in women's, because I feel like Future is one of those ones where it's universally appealing as an artist. So to have these just releasing as women's trainers is a bit weird. But at the end of the day, if it is, you know, slightly more narrow because it's a women's shoe, then obviously you are going to experience pinky toe issues. But I would sort of recommend for most people to go up half a size. You can get away with tutor size, but bear in mind that this lip is kind of quite sharp really, so you don't end up too much space in the forefoot area. And from my perspective, I think the traction is really good on these, and I think they have to be because obviously they're used for sort of dancing and moving around, and they need to provide that sort of flexibility to be able to move around and have that sort of ground feel. But as you can sort of see from the pattern, it looks like it would do the job, and it's quite got sort of recessed grooves running throughout the trainer, and almost like a herringbone type pattern, which is quite large at the same time. So with the look and style, I do like the neutral colorways on this, and that's one of the things about these particular sneakers, I suppose, the Nike Jam, is all the colorways that I've seen so far have all been sort of quite neutral. The driftwood pair, and also the black and white pair, and obviously this white and black pair. And also like the fact that it's got sort of reflective panels on this, and that kind of really, again, you know, if you're doing breakdancing outside or if you're walking around outside, this reflective panel sort of lights up, and you may not be able to see it within this light, but that's still a cool little touch. And as I mentioned earlier, the upside down swoosh, so you know, if you're doing sort of any breakdancing movements and you're kind of upside down, and this appears the right way, which is another cool looking thing. And also just like the way the sock liner is materialised with the artwork from Futura. Usually that's on the outside, but I think with this one, it sounds like he purposely, you know, sort of switched it up, you know, just to kind of have it on the inside, and you can sort of see it peeking through. And I don't mind that personally, and you know, some people may say it's lazy or whatever, but I actually think that's pretty cool. And then you have like the heel tab with it on it as well. And I'd say for that instance, it's probably more of a sort of spring summertime trainer. So because of the fact that it's predominantly white and it's got a mesh sort of material on it, I think some of the, you know, the other two colorways are probably more better for winter environments. And this is more of a streetwear type trainer, and that's what it's made for. So obviously breakdancing is a street wear sort of, I suppose, leisure sport. And for that reason, you know, I think casual was best for these, like with joggers and things like that. So with the final thoughts, I do like the neutral colourway. Obviously that's really appealing, you know, to be able to sort of wear them, and you know, trainers are based upon wearability, and you know, you only see a little bit of colour popping at the top, which is quite nice. And I do also like the signature from Futura as well. That's one of those things that's always sort of on his trainers, as far as I've noticed. And they're quite sort of lightweight as well, so I would say like you know, the trainer feels lightweight on foot. Obviously there's no tech in there, so, and you know, they should be lightweight, and obviously for dancing you need them to be a bit easier to be able to rock around in them. And I think the idea of having a drop-in insole is a cool idea. Just wish that Nike sort of made this more universal, so you know, you can sort of pick and choose whichever insole that you wanted to sort of drop in there. But at the same time, you know, it's still cool that they decided to do that. But you know, it's one of those things that is kind of a for and against. And then also it includes extra laces and a badge from Futura as well, which is a nice touch. And I only noticed that afterwards, once I pulled out the sort of second pair, and you know, the laces you can sort of see on here, it's got sort of dotted lines reflecting the colours that's inside the sock liner, which is really nice in my opinion. And with the cons, I suppose minimal branding is, some people would say it's probably lazy, but you know, I don't mind it being inside. But I think probably, you know, maybe around the lace eyelets, as an example, it would be nice if there was a bit more colour, you know, representing the inner lining, I suppose, being on these. But at the same time, I'm not going to complain too much about that. And I suppose the cost, because there's no tech in there, £120, I think it's quite a lot of money, considering you can buy an SB Dunk Low, which has more tech than this is. I think it's more on the expensive side. I think personally these should retail at sort of the £100 mark. And that's because, like I said, there's no mid-sale tech in there. So with the ratings, I give the look and style for this a 4 out of 5. I think, you know, of all the other colourways that released, the black and the driftwood, it's still a nice colourway, but I still don't think it's an amazing looking sneaker. It didn't grab me where I just thought, you know, I'm really glad to have these, but it's still, you know, overall a nice sneaker, but just misses that mark of being sort of top tier. And the comfort, I'm going to give it a 4. It's not like a, you know, again, it's one of those ones where it's sort of neutral on foot. You know, it's not soft and squishy, and in all honesty, probably feels similar to more of a basketball type shoe. And again, similar to, I suppose, a Nike SB Dunk Low. And the quality, I give that a 4. I think, you know, the overall quality of the way it's been manufactured, and designs and things like that. There's not really much wrong with it really, so I think they've done a good job on that. And like I said, it's got certain reinforcements in the hard to wear areas, which is really nice and thoughtful. And the pricing, I think, is where it sort of falls down really. So it's a 3 out of 5 in my opinion. I think Nike have been a bit greedy with their pricing for these, but I think they should be a lot lower. And overall, I give the score a 4 out of 5. I think it's still a really cool looking sneaker, and I'm a big fan of sort of white and black sneakers anyway. And this one I think is one of the nicer ones. But at the same time, you know, it's one of those ones where I suppose some people look at it as being a lazy collab, but I kind of like the fact that it's a bit simpler and just, you know, got those sort of hidden details in it, which makes it, I think, better in that way. And again, trainers are based upon their wearability as well, so this one is very wearable from that instance.